So wake up, have your coffee. I got mine. I'm not drinking it at the moment because I'm doing try to stay away from drinking the, especially when I'm doing this by myself. Earnshaw is still debating the Dallas fan. He's still debating the Dallas fan. So go, if you haven't checked that out, you should watch it. It's really funny. Earnshaw and this, I still got to watch more of it. He said they did 2 segments. He did this House of Highlights thing where he debated this weird Cowboys fan that was wearing like this weirdly shaped ski mask. I don't know, but go watch it. It's funny. He's probably still debating the guy. That's why Earnshaw's not doing this wild card preview with me right here, but we will soon be doing episode 100 for the shift. It'll be very, very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. We're going to try to do probably do an in-person, not probably, we will be doing an in-person episode of that. But as far as your wild card previews for today, we're going to go through every matchup here. I'm going to give you my X factors, what I think of the series, just overall, and then we'll get into my prediction for each series. So we're going to start with, we'll go National League, and then we'll make our way around to the American League. So we're going to start with, I would say, and I think this is no doubt to say this, but the most least anticipated matchup of the wild card round. And it's no disrespect to the Reds. It's no disrespect to the Reds. But let's be real. And I'm happy for the Reds. Reds made a big step this year as far as making the wild card round, making the playoffs, coming off like a 77 win season, somewhere around there last year. And obviously have a lot of young talent between Abbott, Green, Ellie. They've got the young talent, and they're looking to build towards something in the next couple of years. But they're not there yet. And I think it was more about the Mets having their collapse that they've had over the last couple of months. And that probably would have been a more intriguing matchup. It definitely would have if it was the Mets and the Dodgers. But it's the Reds, and congratulations to them for making it to the wild card round. But at the end of the day, man, they're facing the Dodgers. It's gonna be a tough out for the Reds. It's gonna be a tough out for the Cincinnati Reds. If the Reds have any chance in this series, we know that their rotation is their strength. It's probably going to be Green, Abbott, Nick Lodolo. Those are probably your 3 starters, and that's if it gets to a third game. And for the Reds, it's all about their offense. It's about Ellie De La Cruz, who had a great first half, did not have a great second half. It's about Ellie. It's about Spencer Steer. It's about TJ Friedel. It's about those guys. And what are they going to be able to bring to this Reds offense? What are they going to be able to bring to this Reds offense against a really, really good Dodgers rotation? And I mean, because that's the thing too, right? Is that as good as the Reds rotation is, I think it's one of the better in the National League. The Dodgers, they're set up for, we're talking about like a short series here. We're not talking about a 7-game series here. We're just talking about not even a 5-game series, which is what's going to happen in the DS. This is about what's going to happen in a 3-game series where it's going to be Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and probably Shohei Ohtani in game 3. That's my guess for Shohei Ohtani in game 3. And even then, like, even if Ohtani were to go like 3 to 4 innings, then you have Tyler Glass now too in your back pocket, who is going to be able to give you those middle innings. And we know anything goes in a short series and in the playoffs in general. I don't think it's going to get to a game 3. I really do think between Snell and Yamamoto and between the Dodgers offense is just miles ahead of what the Reds offense is. It's just not really a good matchup for the Reds at all. And then that's what you get for being the 6th seed in the National League. It's not a shot at the Reds. Again, for the Reds, this is a good step for the Reds, for them to even just make the wild card round. But it's the Dodgers. I'm picking the Dodgers to win this series 2-0. So X factor, by the way, for me, X factor for the Reds, their offense. X factor for the Dodgers. I didn't even really get to the X factor for the Dodgers because I don't think they're going to need to worry about this, but it's their bullpen. That's probably the X factor for the Dodgers throughout the entire postseason, depending on if they make, how deep a run they make it and try to repeat as World Series champions. But in this series, I don't think they're going to really have to worry about their bullpen having to be too much of an X factor. I really think it's going to come down to just their offense and their bullpens doing their thing. And also, disclaimer, before I get to the rest of the matchups here. Yes, anything can happen, especially in a short series. Anything can happen, especially in baseball. Baseball, we have seen in the past, anything can happen. 2 years ago, specifically, the Dodgers have had playoff issues even before, winning the World Series last year. But I know anything can happen in the playoffs. Anything can happen in a short series. So I know, with all that being said about what I'm saying about the Dodgers, anything can happen. The Reds can have a really good 2 games, better than the Dodgers, and win the series. I know that. And I know I'm a Phillies fan. I saw it happen when the Phillies beat the Cardinals and made their World Series run in 2022. I know anything can happen. I get it. But I'm just going off of, we got to make predictions here. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I predict the Dodgers, but anything can happen. Like, I get it. I know. It's true. Anything can happen. I totally get it. So I'm picking the Dodgers 2-0 to win this series. Next one, bit of a more intriguing matchup. All these next 3 matchups are going to be more intriguing than the Reds and the Dodgers. But as just a pitching nerd and just a fan of pitching, I'm still excited for the Reds and Dodgers from that standpoint, just as far as starting pitching matchups go. Padres and the Cubs. Now, interesting one, because similar teams as far as, look, Padres are 90-72. Cubs are 92-70. Both have, Cubs offense has carried them this year between PCA and Kyle Tucker. Also the rotation, even though they've had the injuries as far as Justin Steele early in the season, and then Cade Horton as of late, who probably will win National League Rookie of the Year, I would assume. The starting pitching, those 2 injuries were big for them this year. And for the Padres, they get the Jason Adam injury, but still have a good overall bullpen. Still have a really good overall bullpen. And this year has been the best in baseball. It's going to be at Wrigley. These aren't series, by the way, that are just, it's all 3 games are for the higher seed at home. So we're getting all 3 games at Dodger Stadium if it goes there. And we're getting all 3 games at Wrigley if it's the Cubs. The X factor for the Padres in this series is their starting pitching. We know how good their bullpen is. I think the Padres will have no problem in this series if Nick Pivetta, who I would assume I would assume is going to be their game 1 starter. He's been their best pitcher this year. And then I'm going to assume that it's going to probably be Dylan Cease or Yu Darvish in game 2. Now, I think Mike Schilt said that they're going to bring all 5 starters, have them all ready for this wild card series and for the rest of this postseason. That's what it looks like. So it's going to be a mix of, we'll see. I guess it's going to be all hands on deck. It usually is for the playoffs. But for the Padres, starting pitching is their X factor. I trust their offense. I trust their bullpen. If they're starting pitching, can Pivetta and Cease or whoever it's going to be, if they can give you shutdown innings and go go 5-6 innings of 1 or 2 run ball, I think the Cubs have no chance in this series. I think they have no chance. So Padres X factor starting pitching for the Cubs is their bullpen. Offense has been good all year. Matthew Boyd, and then I guess it's going to be a mix of, I think it's going to be Matthew Boyd and then Colin Rhea probably in game 2 for the Cubs. So it's probably what it's going to be. And then maybe Imanaga, Jameson Taillon, so a mix of one of those guys. And I think it's going to get to a game 3, by the way. I do think this is going to get to a game 3. I'm going with Padres 2-1. I'm going with Padres 2-1. I think if they can at least just get solid outings between Pivetta, Cease, Darvish, whatever it's going to be, I think it's game over for the Cubs. I do think it's going to be a good series, but I'm taking Padres 2-1. I still think they're playing with that edge of we have something to prove. Making the CS a couple of years ago, last year, losing that incredible series to the Dodgers. I still think the Padres are kind of playing with a bit of that edge of we still have something to prove between Machado, Bogarts, Soto left. But between those guys, I still think they're trying to play with something to prove. And I think is just as far as the wild card series goes, I think I'm taking the Padres 2-1 in this series. All right, let's go to the American League. Tigers and the Guardians. Boy, what do we have here? The Tigers avoiding the biggest collapse in Major League Baseball history. What, they almost had a 15-game lead in the American League Central, right? Or it was somewhere around there. And almost, they gave up the American League Central. The Guardians, they won the American League Central. They're playing each other in the wild card matchup. Poetic. And it's awesome. I love this. I love that we're getting this in the wild card round. And I will say this, the Tigers almost made a run last year, and it was stopped short by who else but the Cleveland Guardians. For the Tigers, the X factor for the Tigers, their offense. They were very good the first couple of months of the season. As of late, not the same. Their bullpen isn't necessarily a huge strength for them. But when I look back at the 2024 ALDS, Tigers needed offense, and they didn't get it when they needed to. They're going to need their offense between Riley Green, Torkelson, Javi Baez. This offense is going to need to pick them up. I'm confident in their starting pitching between Skubal. Flaherty's probably going to go game 2, Jack Flaherty, and Casey Mize. That's probably going to be your 3. And I'm confident in those guys. Their offense needs to pick them up this series. And with the Guardians, the same thing. Guardians, their pitching, we always know, is between their rotation and their bullpen, especially their bullpen. You never have to worry about them. It's about their offense. It's really just J-Ram and friends. It's Jose Ramirez and friends. That's who it is. Let's be real. That's who it's always been, really. The Guardians' X factor has always been their offense, especially the last couple of years. It's always been their offense. Guardians, their offense came up in a big way last year against the Tigers in the DS. My prediction, though, I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep for the Guardians. And just because of the last month, just because of the run the Guardians have made, and just because of the collapse the Tigers made, that it's automatically going to be a clean sweep. I think it's going to be a close series. I think it's going to be close like it was last year in the divisional series between these two. Taking the Guardians 2-1. Guardians 2-1. They're going to win this series in 3 games in Cleveland. And it being in Cleveland also plays a big part to me of how this series plays out. Home field can make a difference. Red Sox and Yankees, we get the rivalry. Anytime we get the rivalry, I get excited. I know it's not necessarily what it was when I was growing up. I'm 30 years old. When it was in 2000, the early 2000s, at its peak in 2004. It's not what it was. But anytime we get a chance to see these two in the playoffs, I always get excited. For the Red Sox, they had the big loss of Roman Anthony about a month ago now. To me, it's their offense. We know how good their bullpen's been this year, led by Aroldis Chapman having an unreal season in his late 30s. Not worried about their bullpen. Their starting pitching, I don't love. I mean, it's Crochet. It's going to be Bayo and maybe Giolito. I think that's probably going to be your 3. Obviously, Crochet is going to be your game 1 starter. But it's between... It really comes down to the Red Sox offense, though. You lost Roman Anthony. They have a good offense. I mean, there's no Devers there anymore. Now, is that going to end up being a good thing for them in the long run? We'll see. We'll see. But no Roman Anthony. It's their offense. It's their offense. Can Bregman, can Duran, can Rafaela, can those guys carry this offense? And because I think that's going to be the difference for the Red Sox in the series if they want to win this series. For the Yankees, it's their bullpen. And again, just like like I said with the Dodgers, that's more of a big picture postseason thing. Well, for the Yankees, it's their bullpen too. It's their bullpen, but though I think it's the bullpen for them in this series too. Now they don't have, obviously Cole was out for the year, so you don't have the luxury of him in game 1, but you still have a good rotation between Fried, Rodon, and I think it's going to be Camp Schlittler in game 3 for him. But Schlittler is also, a rookie, so we don't know what we're going to get from him. But also Carlos Rodon has not had the best postseasons, in the past. Has not had the best postseason performances in the past. Max Fried has had a mixed bag of goods too in the postseason. So I don't know, man. It's the Yankees bullpen. I still like their rotation, the Yankees rotation, but there are the concerns there of the postseason track record with the Yankees starting pitching. So that is something to monitor, but I will still say the Yankees bullpen is still suspect. So, but at the end of the day, and there's also the question of Aaron Judge in the postseason. I think it's going to be a very close series. Very close. But I think the Yankees offense, and we'll see with Aaron Judge. I still think, though, the Yankees have offense outside of Aaron Judge. They do. I mean, obviously, Aaron Judge is their best player. But Jazz had a 30-30 season. Jazz Chisholm had a 30-30 season. Trent Grisham had a great year for them. Ben Rice has had a good year. Giancarlo has come back, and he has been really good. I think I'm going to take the Yankees in this series just because of their offense. So I'm taking Yankees 2-1. Boston's X factor, their offense. Yankees X factor, their bullpen. That is how I see the series playing out, though. 2-1, the Yankees win this series. Okay, I would love to know all of your thoughts. First off, on Earnshaw debating the Dallas fan. Go watch the video. It's funny. It's like an hour and 15 minutes of like different debates. But skip to when Earnshaw goes. It's just funny. It's just funny to watch him debate this weird ski mask Dallas fan. It's interesting. But also, I was going to say on a serious note. Almost serious note. Go watch it. It's funny. And then let me know your predictions for these series. They start about 6 hours from now. Let me know your predictions. Episode 100 will be coming up soon on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, which this is mostly on YouTube, go subscribe
and let us know in the comments what you think of the predictions. Follow me on Twitter at Rojas_media_. Follow the shift on Twitter. Follow Earnshaw also on social media as well. That will do it for me. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Playoff baseball is back.